Chapter 1. The Story of Star Atlas. The rogue planet Iris, dense with invaluable materials, draws in and collides with 7 child planets in a remote region of space, creating what is henceforth referred to as the Cataclysm. At the core of Star Atlas lies a treasure trove of priceless data. He thought it would be just another routine exploration mission. After this unsuspecting deep space explorer discovers the Cataclysm, he scans its riches, creating what will once be known as the first intergalactic data block. He sells this invaluable information to all 3 rival factions, igniting a lethal spark that forever changes the course of history. All 3 factions, thinking they were the sole owners of the cataclysmic data drop, converge to settle the area. A devastating war breaks out, known as the Convergence War, after their inability to settle the disputed territory. Love and war, war and love, they are the peaks of human emotion. Good and evil, beauty and ugliness. Enter Pai'Zul, the charismatic and brilliant leader of the Oni Consortium. She vividly recalls the first time she saw her one true love. It was a warm summer day, full of raging iconic storms. Lightning was piercing the sky as Bekaloo took off his helmet and locked eyes with her. What are the chances of nearly colliding with somebody flying through these wastelands on a day like this? He smiled with his booming voice. Perhaps it is destiny, she smiled back mysteriously. There was another strike of lightning, but this time the sky remained calm. Now, back to war. Suffering one of the cruelest fates in the universe, the Sogmian race of aliens were driven to the brink of extinction. With only 10,000 members left, they put all hope of salvation in the hands of their leader, Pai'Zul, who was publicly assassinated in the most gruesome way. At Pai'Zul's funeral procession, the sound of wailing echoed across the plains. The sun was setting as they brought Pai'Zul's cryopod to the top of the Rock of Light. As the beam of light consumed the pod to upload it to eternal rest with the ancients, Bekaloo fell to his knees with a woeful howl. The crowd is rattled to the core, a foreboding of things to come. Jimi Hendrix once said, "When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace." Well, that's one school of thought. Another would be to build a galactic alpha predator so intimidating it forces your enemies into negotiating peace talks. Behold, the Last Stand, a Titan-class warship built in retaliation for the decimation of their species and the slaying of their beloved leader. It also served as a fortified city to protect the remaining Sogmian race. All 3 faction leaders come to the table and sign the Treaty of Peace to establish the Galactic Council of Peace. The treaty established the open sharing of all scanned data of space on the Lightspeed Intergalactic blockchain. The data includes fleet movements, installations, and resource discoveries. An era of peaceful trading is ushered in, and the economies of all factions boom simultaneously. We pay tribute to the honorable leaders and signatories of the Galactic Peace Treaty, Ooster's Army Elder, Oni's Bekaloo, and Mud's Sharon. Chapter 2. The Lure of Ahr. The Fatoli race are highly advanced aliens of light. During galactic explorations, they are known to be confused with deities by more primitive civilizations. One Fatoli rogue scout, in particular, played a pivotal role in advancing humankind to the stars. Ahr came to Earth as a mysterious being of pure light, but not all was as it seemed. Using the power of illusion, humans were tricked into forming a space-based religion and racing to expand into the outer space under Ahr's influence. The devastation they inflicted upon the planet was so great that it weakened the Earth's geomagnetic field. The reckless way in which the planet's orbit was populated by machines and debris led to distortions in the gravity field. All this culminated in a disastrous slingshot effect for the many satellites orbiting the blue dot. altering their trajectories to loosen the direct pull of gravity from the planet and scatter them into deep space. Some of these satellites contained valuable data that was lost forever. In 2621, the Council of Peace put out a bounty on these ancient artifacts to integrate them into Star Atlas, leading to a hunt for them across the galaxy. One of the most sought-after satellites in history bears the name of Neil Armstrong, the first human to set foot on the moon. Initially launched into Earth's orbit as a cornerstone of the global positioning system, the satellite had untold additional capabilities that made it more valuable as it drifted off into the void. Chapter 3. Prominent Star Atlas Pilots. Sammy Banks comes from a humble heritage of terraformers. As he grew more interested in the expansion of his family's agricultural foundation, he spent many lonesome hours as an aerospace scout in search of new extraterrestrial plots to cultivate. As a Mud Academy trainee, Sammy was almost immediately tested out of all flight courses. He was the only surviving member of the now infamous Foul I.O. party from a Tufa ambush circa 2613. His survival was fully credited by his maneuvering skills, and with all of his practical experience of piloting and course plotting, his celebrity amplified across the Mud faction as a verifiable pilot of legend. Captain Anatole is the most celebrated and decorated captain of the Mud faction. Her strict upbringing under faction-accredited boarding schools caused her to divert from her elected career in interplanetary hospitality. Can you imagine? And instead sought a fate in the ship races. Within a year, Anna was crowned prime champion of the tri-faction circuit and held that status for 3 years. She used that experience to start her own racing and development team called Sola Protocol. Under her leadership, the team discovered new breakthroughs that shaved minutes off of long-established galactic records on the most popular courses. Anna quickly realized her calling as a leader and returned to captain's training at Mud Academy. Her aptitude for the training was unprecedented, and Mud's captain's curriculum required an update to account for her anomalous abilities. Chapter 4. A Golden Age of Space Exploration. Since the signing of the Peace Treaty in 2523, the Council of Peace has been attempting to establish their borders by heavily militarizing their respective security zones and actively colonizing the medium-risk zones. To do so, all 3 factions have launched enlistment campaigns to maximize their forces. We are in a golden age of space exploration, where the stakes are high, but the rewards are higher. Take part by aligning with a faction and committing your ships to the cause. The Council does not take your commitments lightly. They are rewarding your loyalty in Atlas, the universal currency recognized by Star Atlas. As a fleet manager, you will earn rewards for the accumulated time your contributions are productive. And by contributions, I mean ships. Supply your fleets with fuel, food, ammunition, and toolkits to ensure productivity. The Council's enlistment requirements are simple. Any asset supplied can be utilized in the broader effort. As the campaign matures, expect more detailed mission requirements and specific requests for certain ship specifications. This is where we are today. The birth of an immersive new frontier. In the words of Ooster leader Army Elder, the first to arrive at the universe's next frontier is the first to knock on the gates of prosperity. How will you live on in Star Atlas?